and welcome to the Noona's Noonchi Deep Dive, being introspective with K-dramas from a mental health perspective. This is the final deep dive for now, highlighting women in K-dramas in honor of the month of March, International Women's Day and Women's History Month. I love to highlight these two K-dramas and examples of what I see about claiming your self-worth, valuing you in the workplace. It's one of my favorite topics, actually. And how does it relate to mental health? Well, in every which way. We spend a lot of time at work, right? And who you are, the value you put on yourself, your self-worth in everything you do in the workplace directly intersects with your well-being. Let's look at Startup, Bae Suzi's character, Seodalmi, and 39, how Kim Ji-hyun's character, Jang Joo-hee, navigates the workplace. Here we go, shall we? Again, women claiming your self-worth, self-value in the workplace is very important to promoting good mental health in the workplace. One of the things I talk about the most, especially in the workplace as an executive coach, is how difficult it can be to navigate conversations where you may have to confront or promote yourself. That's not easy. And then if we're talking Asian professionals, culturally speaking, that's not something we learn growing up. In fact, we need to unlearn some of the habits of our upbringing where we were told, well, let's put our heads down and just work hard. Your work will show for itself. Don't rock the boat, okay? Make sure you don't cause trouble and don't disagree with anything. Don't go against authority. All of that is important, yes. But in the workplace in today's day and age, it is all about those, what they say is AKA soft skills, but no, essential skills are just as important as the hard skills, showing off the credibility of your work and the talent of your work and what you need to do in the responsibility of your job. Yes. Startup, Seodalmi. Now, the reason why she was seen as an inspiration, think about it, by the end of the K-drama, if you haven't seen this, is a spoiler alert, is that she is a CEO. Not everybody has aspirations to be a chief executive officer, and that is fine. But if this speaks to you, her character of where she started working in a company that has all these cafes or whatever, and she broke the company record, as you can see in episode 2 of Startup. Dalmi, the character, broke the company record of the most sales in one day. And they were definitely kudoing her and congratulating her, okay? And then in episode 3, we see a very pivotal decision that she makes for her own self-worth and what she wants out of life. So she had her own aspirations to technically be in leadership and at the executive level. Yes, she didn't say CEO, but definitely executive level, because she says in episode 3, I want to point this out, very telling, I want to be on the 32nd floor. She knew that's where the C-level folks were. The whole point is, you don't have to be aspiring to be at the C-level. But what I'm saying is, how are you defining that narrative at work that you show your value and self-worth? It is a big struggle for women to promote themselves, let alone claim a stake in the workforce, saying, hey, especially when they're working with fellow male colleagues or their male bosses, male managers, executive C-suite level men, that they're like, wait a second, I do believe I'm good enough for this. I do believe you need to see what I have accomplished. Seodalmi in episode 2 with her boss wanted to get a full-time position. And in that conversation where she showed that disappointment, where she broke record sales, okay? Nobody else did that in the company. And he kind of did the words of like, congratulations, yeah, you're awesome, we know it. However, we need you to quit so we can kind of renew your contract. And she's like, well, can't you just make me a full-time employee? And he's like, well, no, and very derogatory in the sense of, yeah, but you don't have you only have high school education. You didn't go to the university. Now that can be said to you, yes, and perhaps you're well educated. So this may not directly apply, but I need you to look at the concept of that conversation that a lot of us face in the workplace. When you know you did something great and you got a lot of recognition and boosted the company, And then yet, when you wanted a promotion or be recognized in the way you feel you deserve, it's not met. And that's what happened to Sautami. Then episode 3 is what I want you to look at, where she decides, and this is what I want you to learn from. Don't take it literally like you have to quit a job to become C-level. But what I'm saying is she realized, wait a second, this is what I want. I want to be on that 32nd floor. I didn't even get a full-time contract to be. She wasn't even a full-time employee, even after doing that. Then she's like, wait, what am I doing this for? And in her own head, if we had to go into her psyche, she's like saying, no, I deserve better. That's so un-Asian to think that what I need, what I deserve, how good I am in the workplace. But now I need you to focus on the mental health aspect. It does help you with your mental health, benefits your well-being, self-confidence, positive self-identity, which directly intersects with your mental health, when you can claim your worth. That is so important. And don't you want that if you're a parent for your kids? You say to your kids going, you're doing such a great job, right? But you need to also be able to say it for yourself to sustain yourself in the workplace. There's something called the Great Resignation in the US. It's happening globally. People are quitting. The pandemic has done a lot of that. COVID has created a perspective of people going, do I deserve to be at this job in the sense of the way that I'm feeling? Do I deserve this? Or this job isn't worth it because I reprioritized my life and now I know what I want. That's a lot of what's happening. All, I believe, directly tied to well-being. So Noonchi decides, nope, not having it. And of course, as K-dramas go, showing the trajectory of her path as she becomes a CEO. But she works hard, but she also had the drive. Do you have the drive? And if you feel like you're not getting what you deserve, your hard work, as we saw in that example, episode 2 in Startup, did not show for itself. They already saw it, but that's not enough. She didn't quite stay what she wanted definitively until she chose to leave the job because she felt like that was the best option. And then the guy is practically begging her because he knows she's a great employee. And that's generally what happens. You need to make a pivotal decision or action. That might be a conversation. Moving on to the next example, 39. Okay, that's currently going on. Choo-hee, one of Sonia Jin's best friends, does something very interesting. Also, don't take it literally. She kind of takes off her manager tag at the SkinCeuticals at Lotte, Pekwajam, Lotte department store, and says, I'm not having this from a very rude customer. Side note, I was watching this scene with my mom, who grew up in Korea, and obviously, she immigrated here, and she was saying, I was actually turning to her going, gosh, are customers that rude where they just throw their receipts on the ground, their credit card on the ground? Who deserves to take that? She's like, well, that does happen. Yes, in Korea, I guess the wealthy do believe that. They'll say things like, well, you need to serve me. And she says there is a very uppity attitude. She said it in Korean. I forgot what she said. Talento, like, oh, yeah, we're all that. You better listen to me because, look, I'm the one with the money. And you already saw that Choo-hee was getting treated very poorly. No one deserves to be treated like that. I'm going to say this to you. No one deserves to be treated like that. We are human beings first. And that is, I think, terrible behavior and apparently reflective of what can happen in Korea, according to my mom, okay? But I think we knew that because I think K-dramas show some of that realisticness in society. But that aside, you see what Choo-hee does. Takes off her tag so she can confront the woman in a, I would say, professional manner, but knowing she no longer works there because she quit, because she ain't going to take this. Perhaps you've been in a conversation at work where you were confronted with someone like that, whether it's your boss, which is very difficult in this sense. The customer is Choo-hee's boss because she has to serve the customers. That's her role. That is difficult. And I do believe there is a way to navigate it. Look at the way Choo-hee responded to her. That's what I need you to look at. We're not going to look at the fact that Choo-hee and Tan-mi both quit. That may be the end result, and I'm not going to say one way or the other how it happens because your decision, your situation is very different than theirs. I need you to look at how they handled the difficulty that they had to navigate in those conversations of being demeaned, undervalued, underutilized, not valued, where they both feel they deserve better. Choo-hee stands up to her very calmly. In fact, I'm watching this going, oh my gosh, could I do that? Now clearly, she was definitely self-controlling her emotions. And then at the end, she said what she wanted to say, but still, I would say still professional. Now, I'm not going to say name calling is what I want you to do. That's actually what I don't want you to do, but there's ways to stand firm, put your stake in the ground, claim your self-worth and value, and show whoever you're speaking to, whether it's a boss or colleague, manager, C-level, company, colleague, customer, that you are worth this and you deserve the best. You know your value. And she said her 2 cents. Now I want you to look at both of their conversations. Here's what I want you to walk away with. I need you to affirm when necessary in these difficult conversations. Basically validating what the other person's saying. Oh, I hear you. So you wanted, yes, you want a refund, but again, it's for the sale price only. Affirm. I hear what you're saying. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for valuing my work or pointing that out, as Sodangi said when she got the most record sales. And then reflectively listen. Okay, very key skill. You're looking at them, trying to gauge how they're feeling, what they're really saying. The meaning of words actually goes deeper than what someone literally says, right? Being taken literally is one thing, but I need you to look at what they're really saying. Are they really saying to you, you're awesome? But anyways, we're going to have you, quit so we can renew your part-time contract. That's 2 different meanings. You're awesome, and you just broke record sales, but we're not going to offer you a full-time job. I need you to look at that. That's reflective listening, going, that's one message they're giving me that doesn't make sense. Do I need that? Chuhi, with a customer yelling at her and deciding, you know what? I'm calmly speaking to you. I'm reflectively listening. Yeah, you want this refund. I'm going to give you this refund, but for the sale price that you bought it for. And then saying, you cannot do this kind of behavior after she quit. That is where you kind of go into the difficulty of maneuvering or navigating a conversation that's hard. But if you want to put your name and claim your name and stake and self-value and worth, then you got to do that at times. That is not easy. Asking open-ended questions is super important too. What do you mean? I'm sorry, I don't understand. I'd love for you to explain further. How does that look like to you? What does that look like for me to be a better employee? And you saw Tiny actually doing some of that. She was reflecting back a little bit. She was also asking some questions, but you got to ask open-ended questions to put the ball in the other person's court so they answer for you. Meaning, you don't have to go, do you think I did a good job? Of course, I'm going to say, yes, no, maybe. You need to say, it sounds like you think I did a good job. How did you think I did a good job? What does that look like for you to be this best employee, to be this colleague that you would like me to be? I'd love to hear your input. That is all asking or stating open-ended statements. Got to put the ball in the other person's court. That will help you understand and gauge the situation. Lastly, I need you to be able to summarize a conversation that's difficult, okay? To be like, let me get this straight. So I'm not going to get a new contract. I'm not going to be a full-time employee. It sounds like you believe that I need to learn a little bit more before I get that. It'll take 2 years. Am I correct? That's what you're saying. You're again stating again what they're saying to you to hold this person accountable. Very important to summarize what's being said to you for all intents and purposes in the workplace, right? Whether it's recorded or not. And then Juhi even saying, okay, I hear you want a refund, but I also don't think you should be treating people this way. And even she's a manager, so she had every right to tell the other employees, don't pick up the credit card. She was saying all these things. And then she kind of summarized in her own way of like, this is what I think of you. This is not how you treat people. This is obnoxious. It doesn't make sense. And this is not right. That's her own summary because it was a very different conversation. Don't take things literally. Nothing is linear. Everything just really depends on the situation. But those are the tips I want to give you to affirm. Okay? Ask open-ended questions. Reflectively listen. Summarize what's being said to you so it's clear. And then you can go, I get their message. That is not what I believe in. Or I get their message. I will work harder to show that I deserve this promotion. Very different decision-making processes there, but still, I want you to claim your self-worth and value in the workplace, women. It is not easy. It is a process. It takes time. It takes practice to affirm when you're upset, going, well, thank you for sharing with me. So upset. But you just said that I have broken record sales. Thank you for complimenting me. What else can I do to show that I would like this promotion? What else can I do to ensure that I am a full-time employee? You got to be firm like that. And then Juhi is stating, this does not make sense. You cannot speak this way to me or anybody else. And that's what she was stating, right? In her own ways of validating the customer. Okay, I know you want a refund, but also showing the boundary of like, you can't say this to me. I deserve better. And then she actually quits. Now, both of them end up quitting. It's a drama. I don't always say that that's the best decision. However, that is why the great resignation is happening. People deciding to quit because they want better, or they feel like they deserve better, or their priorities shifted. What does that look like for you? Is it about quitting that position in that department to go to another one and pivoting? You could do that, especially if you like the company. No one should be treated like that. And when you feel like you are faced with that type of behavior, I would like you to question it, because I want you to go back and be introspective. This is why I talk about deep dives in K-dramas, and look at what you do deserve. How do I want to be spoken to? How do I feel about what I'm contributing in the workplace? How do I want people to see me for what I am, who I am, what I bring to the table, my gifts, my talents, the things that I contribute to the workplace? And should you want to go up to that C level, okay, as Sadami and even Kang Hana's character, I brought her up before, so I just wanted to focus on Talmi's character, or Talmi, is that, do you want to reach that level of executive leadership? Then it does take a little bit of work, not work as in hard work of your talents and gifts, those tough conversations that you need to navigate to show the confidence you have in yourself. And that's what it begins with. Know your self-worth, and then be able to portray that in the workplace and beyond. Don't forget, ask open-ended questions, affirm, reflectively listen, and summarize as a way to go through those tough conversations to claim your stake in the ground that you are worth it. Thank you for watching Noona's Noonchi. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button to get notified of new videos to come.